I remember when someone asked Mother Teresa, "What do you do every day in the streets of Calcutta?" She had a wonderful, profound answer. She said, "Every day I see Jesus Christ in all of his distressing disguises. I see the unfolding of Source, the unfolding of God, the unfolding of Spirit in all that I encounter."
I have a very, very strong belief that everyone that comes into our life, everyone, from the stranger sitting next to us on the bus, to the person driving next to us on the freeway, to our children, our husbands and wives, and parents and all of that, they all come to us as teachers. And that the key to being effective and awakening in our lives is to be students rather than teachers. To see them all as someone who has something to teach us. Otherwise, they wouldn't be there. You begin to look at it that way. You take away some of your supercilious attitudes and your holier than thou, better than somebody else, elitist kind of thinking. And you begin to look at, what does this person have to teach me? In all my traveling all over the world, if I'm in Istanbul and I meet a beggar standing there with one arm and one leg, I know that that person has something to teach me, that they're in my life for something, whether it's, and I can learn something from that person. And it may just be to be a little more generous and to give a little more, or it may be to just give a smile or to be loving or whatever, but there's a lesson there for us.
If you go out and just go for a walk this afternoon when you get home, just look at the perfection of all that is. Just look at the clouds and look at the sky and look at the ocean and look at the trees and look at the leaves, and even more important, look at the space between the leaves. And look at the invisibleness and the perfection of how everything is. There's a constancy, if you will. And this constancy is always there. And your goal, my goal, in the time that I have with you here today, is to convince you to go to a place within yourself where you can emulate that divine perfection which requires you to do nothing, which never uses force, which never pushes itself.
The most important thing that you can get out of this is to understand that you are a choice-making individual, and that all of the conditions that you find yourself in your life, all of the circumstances of your life, all of the emotional reactions that you have to all of the people and all of the things and events and so on that take place in your life are really choices. And that's a very difficult thing for a lot of people to get, because they're raised to believe that I can't help the way I feel. I have a right to be miserable when somebody treats me in a certain way. I can't help it. I've always been that way. It's just my nature. It's just the kind of person that I am. People use things like I'm Italian, or I'm from New York, or I just grew up in a family that always talked to each other like this, and I can't help myself. And these are the kinds of things that I really wanted to attack and eradicate from your thinking. That is, that you can't help the way that you are. You indeed are the product of all of the choices that you've made up until this moment. And if you do not like what your life is about, I'm always reminded of James Allen in As a Man Thinketh. He said that circumstances do not make a man, they reveal him. And the circumstances of your life truly reveal what kinds of choices that you have made up until now. Which means that in order to rid yourself of erroneous owns, or get past the negativity and the doubt and the judgment and the kinds of emotional reactions that get in your way, you have to put responsibility first and foremost on yourself. You have to rid yourself of the inclination to blame other people for what is wrong with you, to blame your circumstances, to look backwards in your life and look at your family and come up with all kinds of real nice explanations, but they really don't help you to get past these kinds of emotional reactions.
When you change the way you look at things, the things you look at change. Albert Einstein once observed that You have the most fundamental and major decision that you have to make in your life is this. Do I live in a friendly or a hostile universe? Which is it? Is it a universe that is filled with hostility and anger and people wanting to hate each other and people wanting to kill each other? Is that what you see? Because when you see the world that way, that's exactly what you will create for yourself in your life. This is from great scientific minds.